Welcome, Throw Maxers, to another episode of Talk Around the Park. Tonight we have a Florida edition. We're going to talk about three different parks down in Florida. But before we start talking about those parks, we have a local expert. Let's welcome tonight Alex Brewer. Alex Brewer is from Central Florida Enthusiast. Alex, why don't you tell everybody what your connection is down in Florida?
So, hey guys, I'm Alex. I've been living down here for quite a few years now. I have a lot of friends who work in the industry. Everyone's doing pretty good down here. The parks are taking pretty good care of everyone. So, thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we're super happy to have you on, and I'm really glad to hear that everybody's doing well down there, and the response has been so well. That's awesome. So, guys, we're going to talk about three different parks tonight, and again, just super honored to have somebody down from Florida who's been to these parks. I've been to most of them, but there is a couple that I have not been to. The first one we're going to talk about, I have not been to either one of these, but Alex has, so we're really going to rely heavily on his insider knowledge. The first parks we're going to talk about are the Fun Spot Park. This is the Orlando and the Kissimmee, or Kissimmee, however you pronounce that. Parks, we're going to kind of lump both of these together because they are so close, about 15 minutes or so apart. And so the first thing that we're going to look at tonight is what audience are the Fun Spot Parks geared towards? And Alex, why don't you kind of kick this off tonight since you know these parks better than me?
So the Fun Spot Parks, they're definitely geared, like in terms of like between families and enthusiasts. They're more or less geared towards the fact that they're open until 12 o'clock at night. Most of the regular parks, they usually close at like 9 or 10 o'clock. So they're actually geared towards, I guess you would say, families, even though they have two fantastic wooden coasters, Mind Blower at the Kissimmee Park, and then White Lightning at the Orlando Park. And both rides have their fans separately. But they're more or less geared towards the fact that when the main parks are closed, Fun Spot is free parking, free admission. You just pay to ride the ride. So they kind of view themselves as almost like a party spot. And so that's kind of what makes them different. They're kind of allow people to essentially keep the party rolling.
Okay, that's really cool. So would you say when some of the bigger parks, like your SeaWorlds or your Universals and Disney's, when they shut down, a lot of the teenagers and families and stuff can still go in and enjoy some rides after that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. So just looking at our next question, it kind of is obvious when you look at this that it is geared more towards families, and that is the park's ride lineup. And personally, I'll be honest with you, from just an enthusiast point of view, I kind of know what most enthusiasts know about these parks. I do know about White Lightning at
Yep.
the Orlando Park. You know about Mind Blower. And you look at the other coasters, it's a lot of supporting coasters. There's a family invert. There's a wild mouse. There's just little just rides that are geared more towards families. And even the signature rides are still geared more towards a family kind of setting. And so
Yep.
why don't you talk more about this? Because like I said, you know way more about their ride lineup and you've been through their ride lineup. So why don't you talk more about this?
So Mind Blower is definitely their most coaster enthusiast friendly ride. That's definitely focused on like the thrill seekers for sure. White Lightning, it still is focused on the thrill seekers, but it's definitely more on the family side. It's if you've been to like say Busch Gardens Williamsburg, it is definitely a step up from say Invader, in terms of other GCIs. But like then like over Kissimmee Park, they have like the Wild Mouse, whatever they decided to name it today. For a long time, it was Rockstar. Apparently, now it's something different. Um, but that's kind of more or less fills the role of their family coaster. Same with Freedom Flyer over at the Orlando Park. And then they have like a little kiddie coaster at each park. I believe both of them are ENF Milers.
Okay.
And so they kind of have their lineup. They have like their thrill coaster, their family coaster, and then the kiddie coaster.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, and what about like flat rides or
Flat
stuff?
ride. Well, of course, they have the Sky Coaster, the two tallest sky coasters in the world.
Oh wow!
The tallest one in the world is at the Kissimmee Park. That's 300 feet tall.
Oh wow!
Just
they
to
have a
give you
Giga Status Sky Coaster.
a gigaset, yes.
Wow!
And then they have a 250 foot Sky Coaster at the Orlando Park. And actually, the actual archway, I believe, is actually taller than the archway at the Kissimmee Park. But because of where it drops you from, it drops you, I believe, from 250 feet up. They call that the largest one in the world. And then the one at the Kissimmee Park is the tallest one in the world. And those, I believe, are $25 for non-pass holders, $10 if you're a pass holder. So they're actually pretty good deal. And for the longest time, if you remember from Mayapa from a few years ago, they actually the Sky Coaster company, they actually were showing off the new Sky Sleds. And for the longest time, the Kissimmee one was the only one in the world that actually had the Sky Sleds.
Oh, and, that's cool.
Yeah, I got to do that, and that was it's different. It's very different. You definitely get more of a dropping feeling with the Sky Sled for sure.
Wow.
But it's also you're also swinging for a lot longer. But that was definitely a really cool experience. I don't know if it still is the only one in the world, but I know it was the first one to open up. Okay. The first Sky Sled.
And you were one of the only people, when you did that, you were one of the only people in the world that could have done that. Not a whole lot of people could do that in the world.
I think it was like a week or two after it became available to the public.
Wow.
And so
that's
yeah, I was, and like some of the employees no one told me anything about it. I just like looked it up, and it pretty much just said like you just had to ask them, and like you could tell by like the way they looked at me, it was like you're one of the first people who's asked about this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, do the parks have drop towers or spinny flat rides? Or?
Not really. Maybe the occasional like frog hopper. I know the Orlando Park has that. I haven't been to. Actually, yeah, the Kissimmee Park. I don't believe they have. They don't even have like a frog hopper. But I know like the Orlando Park, they have. I believe it's a Schwarzkopf, not a Huss, a Schwarzkopf Enterprise, which were cool. Some of the original Enterprises. Huss was actually second to that. Schwarzkopfs were the first, and I believe this one is a Schwarzkopf. Really neat. I gotta look into it a little bit further, but that's pretty cool. And then they have like a scrambler. And then their real claim to fame, at least here in Orlando, is the go-karts. That's kind of how they got started. They had their go-karts. The go-karts are actually pretty fun.
Okay.
Their best track is definitely Kissimmee, because like it's a very old school track. So you just go up the spiral and then you come down, and there's like this one little moment where it just gets really steep and like you just get ejected out of the go-kart almost. Wow. Like you get like airtime on a go-kart, which is pretty awesome.
Nice.
And
So,
then you just
how much does it on average cost to get into these parks? Because if there's not many rides, it can't cost a whole lot, right?
well, there's they have their kids section, which is kiddie spot. They have like a Ferris wheel. They have 3 coasters. They have the sky coaster. I know the Orlando park. They actually have a bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have like a food court, but it's never really busy enough to where like the food court's like slammed. Um, it's usually just like one counter's open,
Oh,
just because that's all that's really is called for.
okay.
But other than that, it's about $50 for a Mega Fun card, which gives you everything unlimited access all day.
Okay.
And then the Mega Fun card is for both parks, which is 65, I believe.
Well, it's not bad for 2 parks.
It's not bad by Orlando standards.
No.
And so
No.
and then of course, like if you're just a coaster enthusiast and you just want to ride like say Mind Blower or White Lightning or Freedom Flyer, because even though like Freedom Flyer, that's a Vekoma, it's one of the new school Vekomas.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to like Flying Ace Aerial Chase at like say Kings Island, but without the over the shoulders. It just has like a lap bar.
Yeah, I went on something very similar, Frontier City.
Yeah, and I
Their
believe those have those lap bars as well.
their Steel Lasso coaster just has the lap bars. Really super
They're
comfortable and a little
much
more
better.
forceful than I thought.
They're much better. Like I don't even know why they put over the shoulders on a kid coaster.
Me either. I never got that. Never understood
Yeah.
that.
But if you just want to get a single ride, just one ride ticket, it's $10 for like the major thrills.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. So if
No.
you just want to get the 3 credits, it's going to be about $30. But Mind Blower is definitely on the rougher side.
Heard that.
Me personally, I don't mind rough rides nearly as much as most people. But so Mind Blower is actually my second favorite ride in Florida because the airtime is really good on it, and the hang time from the inversion is also really good. But
yeah, it looks really fun. It looks really fun, and it's a shame that it is running as rough as what I hear it is, because it looks gorgeous. The ride itself looks so cool.
It is one of, probably not the most, but definitely one of the most compact coasters out there.
Oh yeah.
I would still like, I haven't been on this ride, but just see everything that I've seen from it and everything I've heard from it in terms of like how much space it takes up, I still would give most compact probably to Boardwalk Bullet, because that apparently is like twice the length and takes up like half the space.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's crazy. Actually, Coaster Studios, if you watch Coaster Studios, shout out to Coaster Studios, you're awesome. He just did a whole review on Boardwalk Bullet. Check out his video, it's really cool. We're going to move on, though, to the next question. Now that we've talked about kind of the ride lineup and the layout of the park like that, the next question is, what are the best rides in the park? I've never been there, so I can't say definitively, but, just from watching POVs and stuff like that, I'm going to go with the generic enthusiast answer and say White Lightning at the Orlando Park, and we'll say Mind Blower at the Kissimmee Park. Would you agree?
Coasters, yes.
Okay.
But no. I would say the 2 sky coasters.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Especially at nighttime. I mean, those things are like the sky coaster at the Orlando Park, like it's literally right next to Universal. So when you're up there 250 feet up in the air, you're just looking down on top of everything at Universal, and like it's just so beautiful. The
Cool.
Kissimmee one kind of does the same thing, but even though it's like next to Disney, you would think you would be able to see Disney. You can't, but you can still like you can see like iDrive, and if you squint hard enough, you could probably see downtown Orlando, which is if you've ever been to like say Carowinds, it's about how far downtown Charlotte is from Carowinds.
Okay.
About 15, maybe 20 miles. And so it's you're up there. And then yeah, it's just like I know like your home park is Great America, right?
Yep.
And then you also go to Cedar Point. Like the Sky Coaster there, I believe is only like 150 feet.
Yeah, especially for America, it's nothing to brag about. It's nothing to write home about.
Yeah, the Kissimmee one is like twice the height.
Double that. You guys are out
It's
there building giga sky coasters and 400-foot, star flyers down there. You guys are crazy down there.
450.
450. We're almost at a 500-foot star flyer, guys.
It's actually a crazy fact about that Starflyer. It's actually, in terms of Orlando, it is the tallest structure in Orlando.
Wow, for a ride.
Like it's taller than any skyscraper. I'm sure there's probably some sort of like radio tower that might be taller.
It's King Ka status, ladies and gentlemen. It's King Ka status. Okay?
It is.
So
It's
that's
insane.
Crazy.
That is actually one of my favorite rides in Orlando. It's just so peaceful and relaxing up there. You're so high up you can't hear anything from the ground. It's almost like you're flying a plane almost.
And I'll be honest, I'm scared of I like the wind seekers more. It's a metal arm and it's a restraint, and when you're on these star flyers, it's a little chicken wire that's holding you up with just a little itty bitty bar, and I don't like it, guys. I don't like it.
I actually have a little piece of trivia about those Starflyers, actually.
Sure.
Oh, God. The chains are actually rated to hold, I believe, about 3,000 pounds.
Oh.
In one individual chain. There's 8 chains holding that seat in.
Oh, good. I go to the buffet.
And to give you some perspective, my car weighs about 2,300 pounds.
Yeah.
One chain can hold my car.
Wow.
And there's 8 chains holding you in.
It's Mini Cooper status. We could hold Mini Coopers from each chain and you'd be okay, guys. But I still don't like it. It's still chicken wire to me. I don't like it.
It definitely adds to the thrill.
And it's the same thing with B&M Flyer. The scariest part to me is the lift hill. Once we start moving, I'm fine. That lift hill freaks me out. I don't like all my weight on the restraint, and there's no catwalk under you. So if you fall, you just fall. My biggest fear is getting stuck on the lift of a B&M Flyer. I'm pretty sure I'd pass out real fast.
Well, see, I got stuck on the mid-course, which actually the mid-course is actually worse.
I don't know. I think I take the mid-course over the lift because at least there's a floor, and I'm only going to fall a few feet. I'm not falling 100 and something feet. Y'all crazy. That's the main reason that I don't ride a lot of B&M Flyers is because I am terrified of the lift. That's right, guys. Mr. Throw-Max himself is terrified of lifts on B&M Flyers. But anyways, we're going to keep this show moving because we got 2 other parks to get to after this. So we're going to talk real quick. What do we think, what addition or additions does each park need? And for fun spots, I'm going to say dark ride. Actually, it's going to be a common theme tonight. But I'm going to say, some kind of a dark ride, some kind of a Sally dark ride. And since it's family oriented, something maybe from Sally or something like that, like a turkey. What would you call turkey gobbler? I think it was
kind of like that.
Gobbler Getaway at Holiday Park or Holiday World. Like something like that. Something that.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I think.
I for fun spot, at least for the Orlando park, um, the Kissimmee, they're really running out of space. So like, I don't know if they would have to get rid of something to
Wow.
because they also have Old Town that's right next to them, and Old Town's taking up a lot of space.
Okay.
But like Kissimmee, or Orlando, I actually would say water park, some sort of slide complex or log flume.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
what I say they need.
Sure.
And
Sure.
so
You're down there. It's Central Florida. Of
it's
of course
definitely would
it's
be
hot.
popular.
Oh my gosh, when I came down there, especially like right after those midday 1 hour thunderstorms you guys get, it is so humid.
It
Um,
does get very humid.
it's very bad. So yeah, so I think we agree we need some kind of a family dark ride at these parks.
Either something with AC or something with water.
Yeah, or something with water, exactly.
Something to cool you down.
And this is going to be really hard because of what you just said. But the next question is, what will be the next coaster installed? Um, I personally thought of, okay, they're landlocked. Um, each park has a thrill coaster, White Lightning. You can consider family or thrill. But each park,
Um,
that's kind of their, they have one big coaster, one medium. I think that they need something really exciting, especially with Disney spending so much money with Tron and everything coming in, and Epic Universe being open and all of these things happening. I think that they need something big, but for their park, and I'm gonna go with um um a Mac Power Splash because they don't take up a lot of
okay.
space and they they give that water ride. So you get a coaster, you get a launch coaster, and you get a water ride. So it kind of knocks, three major things that the parks need, I think. So that's what I'm gonna say the next coaster to be installed. And I'm gonna say, why not put a Mac Power Splash at one park, and then you put an Intimate Impulse at the other park. Something that's very similar to each other.
Maybe even Wicked Twister.
Something like that. Exactly.
Because that's been rumored. That's been on the chopping block rumored list for ages now.
Yeah.
How much are those Mac Power Splashes? Because
I don't.
that's the only.
I don't
I
know,
look,
but they got to be less than 10 mil. If the I believe the Raptors are between 7 and 9 mil, and that's nowhere
they're about
near what
9.
that is. So I would think it would be, you know, 5, 6, anywhere from 5 to 7 million. I would think. I know Mac's kind of expensive, but it's not much. Other than I think the launch would be the most expensive part.
How much is 8 million euros? I'm looking up
Would be
on
more
RCD.
USD, probably 9.5, 10 million, somewhere around there.
Yeah, around that. That would be well. That is also for Pulsar at Willoughby Holland, which has the turntable.
Right.
So that they could save on that, and that would probably bring it down to like 9.
Yeah, because you would have
Um,
one less train, but then the actual platform, just the fact it rotates, all of that, the gearing and the electronics, everything that goes in,
yeah,
if you eliminate that, yeah, you could probably shave, I don't know, you could shave a lot off, probably 1 million or so, I would think.
euros to USD, and that would be 8 million. Eight
Oh,
million, 8,600,000 dollars. So in total, like if they were to get even with the turntable, yeah, it would be about 9 million. About
and
that.
and different and very different than anything that's in that area. Other than
Very different.
yes, you can argue SeaWorld, Orlando, they have Journey to
Journey to
Atlantis, but
Atlantis.
but that's more of a traditional log
Yeah,
flume kind of ride with a little bit of roller coaster section in it. If you had
you
a
would
Pulsar, it would be totally in a league with the only launching water coaster down there.
you would really have to know like your coasters to know that like the connection.
Yeah, yeah,
And then once you know that, you would also just like it would be obvious like they're way too different.
yeah.
And so, and then Journey to Atlantis. And is that it for Fun Spot? Do you want to
Yeah,
transition to
we'll go to
SeaWorld
that.
now?
Well, there's one more question, and that's
Oh, that's right.
just we'll end with your overall thoughts, and I'll let you kind of just head this up.
I think they picked a very, very appropriate name. It is definitely a rather fun spot. It's definitely um, like especially like if you like work down there by the parks and like you're out of there before 12, like it's a really fun and easy way to go and spend like the rest of the night out. And so
Nice.
especially like if you have like an annual pass to there, like you can get like I believe like you can actually get like a little beer cup, like especially at the Orlando park, like they have like that bar there, and like you can get I believe you buy the $8 souvenir cup, and then after that like refills are like $3 all year.
Oh
And
yeah.
so
So
it's
so so if you guys, the takeaways are, if you guys um, get done with the park and you're going to one of the major parks, and you get out of that park 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever, and you still want to
yeah
do something for the night and you want to still get some thrills in, head over to one of the fun spot parks. And guys, being a smaller chain, they need the business. So
yeah
go over there, because that's how you're going to get your Mac Power Splash, kids. Like, go over there and spend some money. Okay, get those beer cups, spend those $3 on refills. And that's going
yeah
to lead us to a different part. That's going to kind of wrap up the fun spot. We're going to talk about our second park, and the next two parks I actually know about because I've been there. The first one is SeaWorld Orlando. Um, and so the first
I
question
love it.
is, what audience is the park geared towards? Um, and even though, yes, they have thrill rides and they're moving in that direction, I'm still going to say family,
Yeah
but a family that still likes to get a couple of thrills in, but maybe, um, maybe
well,
they don't want to ride 20 coasters in a day. Maybe it's just a family that just wants to get on a couple of coasters, but the shows and the atmosphere and everything that's there really is geared towards family fun, I think. What do you think?
yeah, it's definitely a family park that could transition to a thrill park. They're kind of
Yeah.
in that happy middle ground.
Mhm.
Um, but like for like say us enthusiasts, like if we're just here for the coasters, we're not really going to be there for that long. Um, I mean, granted, I am totally able and totally have marathon Mako more than 20 or 30 times in one day. And it's such an easy ride to marathon. Um, with that being said, there's literally right next to Mako is the shark encounter.
Yeah.
And that's like, and I hate where they have the entrance place because like it's so hard to find if you don't know where you're going, and so
Yeah.
little people actually go through there, and it's such a cool exhibit. And then like Empire of the Penguin, even though like it's not necessarily like it definitely does very well with like the families for sure. I mean, when Mako's a 5 minute wait, Empire is like a 45 minute wait.
That's exactly what it was on my trip. And I'll tell you this.
It's
What a bizarre section of the park to have in Central Florida when it's 90 degrees out with 85% humidity, and all of a sudden you walk into this snow ice part of the park, and yet when you walk into a park that looks like that, you want it to be cold. You want to feel like you're in Antarctica, and you don't feel like that. It's very clear that, oh, this is all fake, but I will say, correct me if I'm wrong, the coldest place in the park is that penguin exhibit. Go into the
yes,
penguin exhibit,
yeah.
and it is freezing in that penguin exhibit.
They actually. When was the last time you went?
So it's been a few years. The last time I was there, Cobra's Curse was being built. Mako was brand
Okay,
new. It
so
was opening weekend for Mako.
opening. Oh yeah, they did not have this then. Since then, they've actually added a non-writers line that just takes you straight to the exhibit.
Oh no,
It's
they had that. They had that when I went.
oh, they did.
Yeah, they had just opened it. They had
Okay, then that's
because originally I was waiting in line to ride the ride, and then but I had some people of age, is how I'll put it, in my group, and so they just didn't want to wait that long. So my family actually took them and went into the non-rider line. Um, but it was so cold, even though it was so nice for the first like 2 minutes you walk in there, you're like, oh my gosh. After that, it is so cold you want to get out of there. It's like, and then you as soon as you get outside, you're like, wait a minute, no, I got to get back in. I could have went all day just going back and forth in and out of that door. I could have.
yeah. The only and I understand why they have it this way. Because like the line does go through like the pre-show room.
Mhm.
Um, I would have. The only issue I have is that like there actually sometimes is a longer wait for the non-writer, um, especially like on like very pass holder heavy days,
Mhm.
where it's like say February, like there will be more people waiting, um, for the non-writer. But other than that, like I mean, the ride itself, like it's pretty good. It's just ends it ends abruptly, and it's a kind of a weird transition from like the show scenes to
Yeah,
like the penguins.
yeah. No, I
Um,
agree.
but like that first half is like really cool. It's very well themed in there. Um, but other than that, um, that ride's very popular. Um, of course, Mako's my favorite. I do love Kraken though.
We're gonna just so everybody knows, since we're talking about rides anyways, we're just gonna go. I'm just gonna throw up the next segment of this, which is the park to ride lineup. But yeah, no, I agree. The weird thing about this park is when you look at the ride lineup, it's like thrill coaster, kiddie coaster, and water coaster. It's got an indoor section.
And then now,
But that's it.
Family Launch Coaster.
And now it launches, so it's like throw coaster. It's like, and then you get into the rest of the park, and it's like, oh, you have a couple of kiddie rides, and you have the penguin ride, and you kind of
And then
fall
you have the
flat.
shows. You have like the walkthrough exhibits.
Hmm.
Um, have the fun of SeaWorld, especially during summer, is actually some of the seasonal events. Actually, the seasonal events like Electric Ocean, especially for like Ignite, like that show is just incredible. I've always had a big thing for lighting and like pyrotechnics,
Yeah.
and that's literally 90% of the show is like crazy lighting, crazy pyrotechnics,
All right.
and
Well, you're in Florida. You have to put on a good nighttime show in Florida. That's just a give me, right?
what?
That's just a give me. If you're gonna be in Florida, you better have a good nighttime show because you're up
Oh
against hard
yes.
competition.
Oh, it's easily the like in my opinion the best night show in Orlando. Like they have like the flamethrowers over the lakes. They have like lasers everywhere. EDM music. Like anyone like who watches like my channel, like they'll know like this guy's a pretty big fan of EDM.
Yeah. Okay,
Um,
cool.
like it's just such a cool show. And then actually, really cool fact about that show. Most of the music was actually produced like through SeaWorld themselves.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, like I believe
That's really
they
cool.
produced the score for Mako. They produced like the score for Electric Ocean. But then also um, like during like the regular day hours, like they had like in select areas of the park, they'll have some of that score playing. Um, but yeah, a lot of the music in the parks, if it's not like just generic pop music, a lot of it is actually created by SeaWorld.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really
Named
cool.
like Dan or something. He composes it, but I believe like he works for like SeaWorld Creative. And so there's
That's
actually
really cool.
there's actually a YouTube channel. I don't really know this guy, but like he actually has like a playlist of all the songs
Oh
that
wow.
people can go check out on YouTube. Um, I just found him by typing Mako score or something like that. Mako
So
SeaWorld Orlando score.
so guys, if you know what he's talking about, post some links down below in the comments. So people can check that out.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to the next question here, which is what are the best rides in the park? So personally, I mean, obviously, Mako is
Yeah.
fantastic. But also, I really enjoy Manta. It's my favorite B&M Flyer, and it's I think better than Kraken. I like Kraken. Don't get me wrong. However, the first drop on Kraken is so shallow of an angle.
It is. It really is.
There's no, I mean, like you're just going forever and you don't feel anything. And I'm like, come on, B&M, give me a steeper drop here. I know it was one of your earlier ones.
Kraken kind of does kind of the same thing that Pumbaa does, where like the first elements you go through, they're kind of okay. They're pretty good.
Mhm.
But each element just gets more and more and more intense as the ride goes on. And I like that natural sequence of like intensity constantly increasing with that ride. So like you go through like the vertical loop, pretty decent vertical loop, and then you go into that loop, and that's an awesome dive, especially like if Mako's going up its lift hill. That's an awesome moment. You're like it almost feels like you're gonna hit train. And then like roll very awesome, and the cook roll, it's one of the better definitely been through. I know some people aren't really those, but this one does not really have anything. It's just like really good positives. And then you go into the mid course, and then like the second half, like that vertical loop is like, especially like since that vertical loop is in that trench, you come up the near misses with like, those columns get insane, and then like that turnaround and down is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like I like that natural sequence. Manta is a fantastic ride. Absolutely love that ride. And you talked a little bit. That ride kind of has made me a little claustrophobic with like restraints and how like restrictive they are, especially like when you get like stuck on like the final one. That pretzel loop.
Oh, I gotta say, and just so you guys know, this is a live broadcast. We're gonna give it just a second, because for just a second you were glitching out there for a minute. But so we're gonna give your connection just time to catch up with you real quick. This is a live show, guys. We are really talking to each other. I'm in Chicago. He's all the way down in Florida. So go ahead. I think that you're good now.
Yeah. That pretzel loop, you grade on that thing every time. It's like it's one of those moments where you're just like, what am I doing to my body? It's a very insane moment.
Yeah. What I like about Manta is all of the other cool elements that they throw in there. Like I like going down and skimming, appearing like you're skimming across the water, and I like going past the waterfall, and I like all the little 0G rolls, and you're just some of them are unexpected. It's a very cool layout. It
It's very
definitely
graceful.
Yeah.
It's
I agree.
very graceful, just like a Manta.
Yeah.
It's already. But it's a fantastic layout. It's just those B&M Flyer restricts are very restrictive. That's why that's one of the few rides like I don't really ride on. Just because those restricts are restrictive.
Yeah.
That's why 9 out of 10 I'm riding Mako. But what's the next question?
Next question. Next question is, what additions do we think we need to add to the park? So I initially was gonna say, oh man, they really need some, dark ride too. But they do have the penguin ride. They need flat rides.
They
They've
do.
they've got coasters, and I get that they're trying to build it up, but throw in a couple, throw in a drop tower, throw in a couple spinning rides.
That's exactly what I'm gonna say. Is a drop tower.
That's what they need.
I think a wing coaster is a great fit because I know like a wing coasters were going to SeaWorld for next year. I say rumored because they haven't really broken ground
And
yet.
that brings up to this question. We're going to talk about this question. I love it. We're flowing right into it, which is next. And I think so too. I think you're right. It's going to be a wing coaster,
I think. If wing coaster make it Thunderbird, or not? Yeah, Thunderbird, right? A long swing coaster.
Oh, you're starting to glitch out again. Oh, there you go. We're back. See, guys, we're live. Well, I'm gonna keep this for all of you out there. Even though it's glitching out a little bit, we're gonna keep this so that you guys know that this was a real live conversation that we were having. This wasn't cut together or anything. So yeah, I think a B&M wing coaster, and the interesting thing is, I'm almost surprised that they went the route they went with Icebreaker, because they have so many B&Ms, and if you're going to add another B&M wing coaster, why did you not just make the B&M wing coaster a launch B&M wing coaster and make it like Thunderbird?
They need a family coaster, like something that wasn't like they needed that bridge the gap coaster. And this, I mean, Icebreaker in terms of everything they need now, it literally fills every single thing they need right now, which is something that links, like say, Journey to Atlantis to Makeup, something, or even Meta. I'd say the top three are about equally as thrilling.
Yeah,
Make might be a little bit.
No,
more.
I agree, and for different reasons. You've got the flying, the pretzel loop is pretty intense. You've got all the airtime on Mako, it's pretty intense. You've got all the inversions that are on Kraken that are intense. I'll even say, you see, now you can make the argument that Journey to Atlantis is their family coaster.
It is.
But it's not. I wish. First of all, I don't like the restraints on that version. The restraints on the other Journey to Atlantis are way better. I do not like the restraints on that first. They're very, very small to me. The Mac ones were pretty restricted for me. I'm a bigger guy, but even when I could fit on the other coasters, that one was pretty tight. But I was expecting more. People built it up and said the best one is down in Florida, and wait till you get on this one. And I got off, and I'm thinking, I wish they were more like the San Diego ones. I wish they had more coasters.
San Diego is definitely looks more thrilling.
Yeah.
This one more fills the role of a dark ride.
Yeah, it does.
They unfortunately did turn off some effects, so like the story's kind of not just, unfortunately, is such a huge bummer.
Yeah, and I get that, but for families, they're just like, oh, water, fairy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's not. It fills that darker void.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, I would agree. SeaWorld, let's see. Next coaster. The next coaster they should get. I guess that wing coaster.
Yeah, I think that's the rumors, and the leaked layout has come out, and I believe it has.
I don't believe it has.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. My bad. Maybe.
You're probably.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I was thinking of the King's Dominion one, where they thought that they had leaked it out. Man, everybody's talking about getting wing coasters, and then they fooled us at King's Dominion. Like, nope, psych, we're gonna get a 40 free spin.
A unique one.
Finish SeaWorld with just our general thoughts of the park. I think it's great for all ages. I really do think it is. You have all the shows for the kiddos. It has a fantastic kids section of the park. But it has all the shows where, let's say that, like when I used to go down, the couple times I've been, I would break off. My grandparents and my family would kind of go one way with the kids. They would give me time and say, "Go do what you want to go do." I would go and ride the coasters, and then I'd meet right back up with them for a show. And so there's so much to do, and the food there, top notch. Love the food. That smokehouse that's there is killer. But the next park we're going to talk about it because the best smokehouse in Florida. But
by the way, there aren't any layouts for the wing coaster.
Yeah, I was thinking of the other one. My bad, guys. Don't hate me in the comments. Don't hate me in the comments. And so we're gonna move on to our next park.
So,
our next park is Busch Gardens, Tampa. It's the final park we're going to talk about. I do have to say I've been there. This is my favorite park in Florida, just because I love coasters and the overall feeling of this park, the theming, the staff, the rides, the animals, it gives you everything, in my opinion. So the first question, as always, is what audience is this park geared towards? I'm going to say thrill seekers. What are you going to say?
Yeah, thrill seekers. This is, they market themselves as Florida Thrill Park, this thrill capital, more thrill center. I mean, it's in their market. It's what they do, for sure. My favorite ride in Florida, Kumba. Love that thing to death.
Kumba is so good. So good. If you guys have not been down there, when you get, first of all, check the ride maintenance schedule because Kumba does go down since the park is open year round, basically. They do.
Once a year. Yeah, it closes about once a year. It really changes every year when it goes down, but usually it's once a year it goes down. And then you could just go to the Busch Gardens website, go to the search bar, and just type in ride maintenance. And I believe that should bring up their maintenance schedule.
Mm-hmm. So check that because you want to make sure you get on Kumba for sure.
Yeah.
And so that's going to lead us into the park's ride lineup. I will talk about some of the thrill rides. I'll let you talk about some of the coasters. They've got some great thrill rides. They've got the inverted pirate ship thing that's there. They've got their star attraction, Falcon's Fury. Oh my gosh, I did it! I've done Falcon's Fury. It is terrifying being over 300 feet up, and then the seats. For those of you who don't know, you start like this. You're sitting, and then they get you into a prone position where you're laying on your stomach, and then they drop you over 300 feet to the ground, and it is terrifying, but I loved every minute of it, so it was really cool.
The structure is actually 335 feet, but you're actually 310 feet.
Giga status again. They love Giga status down there.
That might tie into something I have to say what they need later. But that intimate starship, Phoenix,
Yeah.
That thing has been down for almost 2 years now.
Oh wow. See, it was working when I went down there last. It was running.
Yeah, 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 and that was running, and then it went down for maintenance, and then like it hasn't reopened. Kept on saying, "Oh, it's got to reopen," and we were just like, "Okay."
How's
Just
Sand Serpent? Is Sand Serpent open? Because that was down when I was there. It had been down for a
that's a,
while.
yep,
Okay, so they have opened it. Good.
yep.
Um, but even that, I would say that that's one of their only less intense coasters. I mean, even
It's one of those coasters that just feels weird in that park.
yeah,
Uh,
because even their Schwarzkopf, even their old school Schwarzkopf, when you go through that loop, you get those powerful positive G's, and it's like, you look at that, and you look at Shikra, and you look at Kumba, and you look at Mantu, and you look at all these rides, and it's like super intense, super intense. Even Shikra, super intense, super intense. By the way, Shikra is my favorite dive coaster because the airtime you get with those restraints on that first drop is so crazy. Almost
it's
lost
not only just
on my neck.
it's not only just that, but it's also the theming surrounding it is actually really good. And then like you mentioned Coaster Studios, and his review, like he was saying, like he had a really good near best miss on the second drop.
Mhm.
Absolutely true. The near miss, you're sitting on an edge is really good. Of course, like, if you ride it enough times, like
Yeah, for those of you who don't know,
he's
you drop into a
fun.
tunnel, and when you drop into the tunnel, from the height that you're at, your seat is so wide, it looks like you're going to clip this. I mean, it looks like there's no way that that tunnel is wide enough to accommodate this big train, and I'm gonna die. And it's super cool. My first time was in the back row. So I got pulled over that first drop. I had a chain around my neck that I had ridden on every other coaster down in Florida. Everything, and it was fine the way I had it, but it actually floated right here on the first drop. It came up to my eye level and floated and almost went off my head. I had to grab it. So in the picture, I gotta find this picture. You see me like this holding my chain. So that's why no loose articles, people. No loose articles. At the time, I thought it was going to be safe.
There is there is one cool thing I absolutely love about the SeaWorld parks. Um, is that if you have the GoPro chest mount, you're allowed to, and I love that.
Not just that, but I have recorded at SeaWorld parks. I have sunglasses that have a little camera right in the middle, and so I've used the sunglasses with the straps, and they said that those are perfectly fine too. So if you're an enthusiast or you're with your family or whatever, and you have the proper gear, make sure to check their website and make sure you have the proper gear. But if you do, they will let you record on the ride, so you can record yourself, your family, get all those memories. And that is super cool. I love SeaWorld for that. Cedar
I
Fair, Six Flags, learn from SeaWorld. Clearly, there's not as many accidents if people are using the proper gear to support people not using it. So, my plea to Six Flags and Cedar Fair, please let people use proper gear and be responsible to film, especially with sunglasses. Anyways, rant over. We'll move on to the next question. This is getting heated here. That's what's the best ride in the park. This is really hard at this park.
for
But I
long.
have to go with my top two, my two favorites, which is Kumba, like you, and Shikra. I just, even though Shikra's short, that first and second drops, they make my day when I go. So those are my two picks. I think those are the best rides of the park.
Well, when the park reopens, that's going to be a very different discussion.
You're right. You're right.
But we'll talk about that in a second.
Right.
As of right now, Kumba is my number one. Number two is probably Matu. And then I'll also throw. I know I give Chris a lot of life. A lot of like I wasn't railed. But
What's
actually,
that? We missed that one. What was that?
Tigress.
Oh, Tigress.
Tigress.
Okay.
I would actually put Tigress at number 3. Actually, just because like it's a lot more intense you would think it would be. And then like have you ridden any of those Skyrocket 2s?
I have not. There a couple of the parks I've been to have installed them after I've been there. I personally have not been on a Skyrocket 2. It is a bucket list thing that I want to do, and actually, I'm going to be coming down there, Alex, in October. Assuming everything goes back to normal by then, I do have a trip planned to go to the Tampa's haunt event. And so when I come down there, I want to get on Tigress and obviously Iron Gwazi.
Oh yeah.
I'm almost scared for Iron Gwazi. That death roll it does look crazy, and I don't think any coaster on the planet should be cut back that fast. But I can't wait for it.
It's gonna be a beast. I actually have a little bit of a unpopular opinion. I have not written this yet, so like, I've not written it. I think I might like Steel Vengeance.
Steel Vengeance better?
No, I think I might gonna like Iron Gwazi better than Steel Vengeance.
Okay, you might like Iron Gwazi better than Steel Vengeance. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I will or not. But I could see that.
My reasoning behind it is you look at Steel Vengeance and there's some incredible elements on top of a lot of elements versus like bunny hops here and there, just a little overbank.
No, I got it.
Yeah, like everyone remembers.
People talk about that overbank turn, and people talk about that weird roll
version under the left
hill, and people talk about coming out of that, that really quick flying snake, that whatever it's called, that snake dive, snake loop, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
that thing. People talk about that, and then people talk about like the extreme airtime in the 4 or 5 bunny hops into the station. But there is a lot of, they do throw a lot of bunny hop, zero G roll, bunny hop, zero G roll.
Versus I Gwazi, it's like you on the dot, you just go straight into an turn, and you come up, and then you go into the death roll, and then you go into that back. You go to the twist and shout, and you go to the wave turn, and then to the stall, and at the end is definitely filler for sure. But by that point, like I've been told, this ride's actually going to average at about 45 miles an hour, like just the average speed.
And it looks like it. The test runs look incredible. So
you hit the final brakes at 45 miles an hour.
Although,
yeah,
I still don't understand how lions turned into alligators, or crocodiles. It's another discussion for another time. But it morphed animals, guys. It became iron and it morphed somehow. But the trains look great. I can't wait to get down there. As a matter of fact, in October, if you're free, we could totally ride Iron Gwazi together.
We are.
That should happen.
I will call to work for nice.
You guys heard it first. Now we're gonna ride Iron Gwazi in October when I go down there. So we're gonna keep it moving just because. Be honest, the battery on my laptop is slowly fading, kiddo. So we're gonna get through the last few questions here, and that is, what additions do the park need, guys? I think Tampa needs a dark ride bad. It needs to be something cool. Williamsburg had like the Dark Castle. It needs to be something that isn't Dark Castle, because that was for the theme of Williamsburg, but something like that, but for the Africa Safari or something. It needs to be some kind of awesome, thrilling, and I'm gonna say like a Cryotech dark ride. Like, give them even a little bit of another coaster credit, but something the family can go on. Give them a Cryotech. They need a good dark ride there. What do you think?
Busch Gardens needs to partner with Disney and use their Black Panther licensing.
Yes, yeah,
That would be awesome.
that would be awesome.
Honestly, I say like they've tried to do the whole dark ride thing in the past and it kind of failed. I say right now, same as SeaWorld, they need to really add to their flat ride collection, because if you actually sit down and look at like Phoenix for 2 years now, other than that, I mean, what's the best flat ride next to Falcon's Free?
Nothing.
The little fuzzy gliders, like there aren't really. Of course, like next year, they're rumored to be getting a SNS little scream swing.
Yeah.
Which I love those things. What's one Cedar Point called again?
Skyhawk.
Skyhawk. I love that. That thing's awesome. Finnegan Fires at Williamsburg. I actually got like a soft opening on it, and it was awesome. So like they need that.
A quick trivia about Skyhawk while we mentioned it.
Yeah.
When it opened, it was it's the tallest swing ride like this of its kind. Actually, all they did was at the top they added where the fine Skyhawk is. They just added that little bit of steel at the top. The ride itself doesn't go any higher. They just added that little steel at the top enough to say it's the tallest. But your swinging doesn't, and I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments or something, but I have heard that from multiple people down there, including employees, that it's actually just the amount of steel that's holding the nameplate in like right at the top there, and that's what technically classified it as the tallest, which would not shock me in Six Flags or Cedar Fair fashion. They both seem to do that kind of stuff. So
I mean, when they call Scream is it roller coaster, it's 18, like it doesn't surprise. It's Pipe Dream, right?
Pipe Dream.
Yeah, because they do call it a coaster. But for Busch Gardens Tampa, what they really need, of course, like after all these, this is obviously going to be extremely delayed, at least 5, possibly even 10 years. But I say at some point, I think we need a Fury Killer. I think we need to be in a gig at this park.
Okay.
Because if you look at this park and you look at Angwazi, Kumba, Shikra, Montu, Cheetah Hunt. I know a lot of people are kind of upset with Cheetah Hunt because it's called an intimate blitz coaster, but if you actually look at it as a family coaster, it's
not a blitz. Get on Maverick. That's a blitz coaster. Get on Tehran over in Fantasia. That's a blitz coaster. Cheetah Hunt is not a blitz coaster, and I'll stand by that. It's just a multi-load.
No, I will say that as well. Actually, the park doesn't even call it a blitz coaster. They call it a family launch.
That's what it is. People need to stop. Just because it launches a couple times, guys, it doesn't make it a blitz coaster. It's fun. Not even the best in the park.
If you do it like a family wheel coaster, it's a fantastic ride. But if you look at a park like Busch Gardens Tampa, and you have Iron Gwazi, Kumba, Matu, and then you have a ride that is possibly better than say Fury 25. People might start using the term Cedar Point Killer. Like this park, I feel like has that potential because what makes like say Cedar Point so great is that it is a resort. It is an overall experience. The rides are good, but that's not what Cedar Point is legendary. It's like an amusement park that has these crazy thrills that feels like a resort. Mm-hmm. If you start to do that over at Busch Gardens Tampa, literally the only thing that I would say, like especially after getting a Giga, that would be that Cedar Point killer in an on-site resort, get some sort of city walk type area. Damn, that's in my opinion, that's the best park in the world.
Yeah,
Just saying.
you're not alone. There's a lot of people that say that actually, and I'll shout out another channel, Coaster Net Uncut, Andy from Coaster Net Uncut. He says that all the time that um, he believes that Busch Gardens Tampa is one of the best theme parks in the whole country, and if they just got
Just
a couple of more additions like a Giga, that it could very well be the best in the country, that it could very well beat a Cedar Point, because they also have the theming that goes along with it. So I agree. But that kind of ties into our next conversation, and that's what's the next coaster to be installed. We know technically Iron Gwazi was the next coaster and it's going to open, but we're going to look at what happens after Iron Gwazi.
yeah,
Um, and I like your idea about the Giga, although I am personally going to go a different route. Because, and I'm going to go more of an intermediate coaster, because they do need something, I think, for the kids that can't quite get on an Iron Gwazi. And what do they need in the park? They need a wooden coaster. They do not have. I know that they just converted their Woody, but I think they need a wooden coaster. I think they need a modern wooden coaster, and something like a GCI, which is ironic because they just
that
RMP'd their GCI. But I really think a new school used to steel structure, something like Texas Stingray. I think that they need something like that. You need some kind of wooden coaster. If you're going to be an elite park, even Cedar Point, as mild and mediocre as it is, they have Blue Streak. They still have a one wooden coaster, to say that they have that in their lineup. And so I think if you're going to be an elite park, you need to have at least one wooden coaster, and I think that they do need that.
I think that's definitely what they need next for a coaster. I have heard rumors of some sort of family, not necessarily family coaster, but some sort of compact family coaster.
Okay.
I don't know who it's manufactured by, but I have heard something about some sort of family coaster.
Sure.
And the only I could see something by I could see something like Waker at San Antonio, something along those lines.
That would be great. Yeah, that would be great.
I've also seen some markers over by Kumba.
Really? You're hearing it first, guys, on ThrillMax. We have not broke this news on ThrillMax. You're hearing it first from a local. There's markers that are over by Kumba.
Well, okay, it's kind of more or less Pantopia area.
Okay.
And I'm by no means like the first person who's broken news this. I know, like Midway Man, he's been posting a lot of pictures of like the little spikes in the ground. That's more or less what I'm talking about.
Okay.
The spikes. I can actually have a few. If you want me to send that. But
so comment down below, guys. What do you think that is? Do you think that it's a new thrill ride? Do you think it's a new coaster? Do you think it's a bathroom? What do you think that it is that they're going to be putting in down there?
Well, it's a very awkward place to put a bathroom.
I agree. Let's wrap up this section with our overall thoughts of the park. From an enthusiast point of view, it's heaven. I love that. I also love the food there. There's the Zimbabwe Smokehouse that's right by Shikra.
Yes.
Best smokehouse in Florida. I'm telling you, go there, get the brisket, or ribs, or anything they have.
Get a sampler. Get a sampler, because you get to sample all of it.
You heard it there, guys. Get the sampler, because it is awesome. But yeah, no, if you're an enthusiast, get to this park, especially with Iron Gwazi opening. Get to this park, get out there. I think that they need to do a little bit more for the families, so that let's say that you have a family that goes there, mom and dad can go off and do something. The kids can go. I will say this too, just real quick. Overall thought: the best show, non-Disney, non-Universal show that I've ever seen was that Ice Capade show, that ice skating show that took you through, like you went underwater, it was like a safari. You went underwater, and oh my gosh, it was so cool.
That show has changed a lot, but it was equally amazing. It's like Broadway quality show, sure. Yeah, my overall thoughts of the park is it's weird for me because it's my home park. So like I know like Cedar Point is technically one of your home parks as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's always get used to well, it's not easy to get used to Cedar Point, but it's still like I still would put it up there.
You're cutting up just a little bit. You just cut up just a little bit.
I would easily put this at number 2 or number 3 best park in the world. I don't know if I Williamsburg ahead of it. I don't know if I put this ahead of it. I go back and forth between this and Williamsburg every single day. And then of course the points right now they're pretty untouchable. But
Yeah.
other than Busch Gardens Tampa, even though it's one of my home parks, it's right up there with it. So
I'd agree. But we want to hear from you now. That's going to do it for tonight's episode. We're going to wrap things up. But however, we want to hear from you. What are your overall thoughts of these parks? Have you been to any of these parks? If so, do you agree with our predictions on what they could be getting next? Do you agree with our assessment of the park? If not, comment down below. We want to thank Alex again from Central Florida Enthusiasts. Look them up on social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube and everything, and just look them up, guys. Subscribe to them if you're not already subscribed. And we want to thank you for that. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, Alex.
thank you so much, man.
And guys, this was Talk Around the Park. And this was our Florida edition. And we will talk to you next time. Remember to always take your thrills to the max.